Next, we're going to do one of my favorite segments of the show, and that is DVD picks.
Oh, good deal. And what is your DVD pick going to be, Patrick?
Well, I've kind of strayed away from tradition. I know we usually like to pick the movies that have just been recently released on a DVD,
True.
but I've actually re-seen a movie that I really enjoyed, and that was Transformers, so I decided to review it this week.
Oh, okay.
How about you?
Well, I'm going to be reviewing Juno, and I feel that this is going to be a very good classic.
I'm looking forward to hearing about that. But let's start with Transformers.
Sounds good.
Don't we? Okay, this Transformers features a teenager named Sam Witwicky, and he's played by Shia LaBeouf, the teen from Disturbia. You might remember him from there. And he buys his first car. What he doesn't know is that it's more than meets the eye, and it's actually an alien robot. This isn't the only alien to arrive on Earth. Optimus Prime and his fellow group of transforming robots have arrived in search of the Allspark. But Optimus Prime and his Autobots aren't the only aliens to appear. Megatron and the Decepticons are also searching for the Allspark, and it will do anything. They all will do anything to get it, even if it means destroying the city. Now, this movie, I have to admit, has a weak plot, and the acting, quite frankly, is horrible. And you might be saying, well, this is your DVD pick. You're supposed to enjoy this movie. I did enjoy this movie. I enjoyed it tremendously. This movie, hands down, has the best special effects I have ever seen. I also am a child of the 80s, and it's a revival of the Transformers cartoon show. And so, of course, I'm going to buy into it. Fantastic. This movie, if you haven't seen it already, you may be the only one in the world. It's already made $707 million worldwide in theaters, and you must go out and rent it right away. So despite all its shortcomings, this is a huge bonanza for me, and I would suggest you see it again and again. Russell, have you seen it?
I have seen it, Patrick, and I would have to agree with you. It is very good. What do you think about us building a car that transforms?
Well, I think we certainly could try, but they probably couldn't do as good a job as the movie makers in this film. What about Juno? You said you were going to talk about Juno.
Juno is a dramatic yet somewhat comedic movie that stars Ellen Page and Superbad's very own Michael Cera, a comedic favorite these days. Now, Juno McGuff is caught by surprise when she finds that she is pregnant with a young puppy-love Polly Beaker. Now, Juno decides to give up the baby for adoption purposes while going through even more difficult stresses throughout life. Now, as if it's not difficult enough being a child, she's also got this big, oversized belly in her way, and now she's thrown into adulthood with all of the cast and characters here. Juno was forced to grow up much quicker than any child should ever be faced with. So I would have to say that this movie had some great casting and a lot of new faces. I really enjoy seeing that kind of aspect when it comes into the movie. But a downfall for me for this movie was definitely the soundtrack. I don't know what kind of music they came up with, but it was not my taste at all. I would say that this is far below even bluegrass, which surprisingly I don't like at all. And the only cool part about the soundtrack was really that they actually sang it. That was very intriguing to me. Another part to this movie that I really enjoyed was the triangle of dynamics between Juno and Polly Beaker and the adoption parents. There was a very good dynamics of these triangular proportions here. But overall, the movie had spunk. I really enjoyed it. They got the point across that there are a lot of difficulties when having a child at such a young age. So for me, Patrick, this was definitely making it to my DVD picks as a bonanza.
Well, that's great. That's really exciting. Now, we all know what the next part of the segment is.
Yes, we do.
It's the Big Bonanza Bust. All right, it's time for the Big Bonanza Bust, Russell.
That's right, Patrick. And what is on our list this time?
Well, this is a real sick movie that we've chosen this week, and I don't mean in a good way, I mean in a very bad way. And as you may know, we talked about it earlier, it's The Water Horse, the Legend of the Deep. Let me tell you about this movie. This movie is about a lonely boy named Agnes. First of all, where did they get that name? He discovers a large, mysterious egg along the shores of Loch Ness. That's right, the Loch Ness in Scotland. No one is prepared for what lies within. he soon discovers that the strange, mischievous hatchling inside is none other than the water horse, the Loch Ness's most mysterious and fabled creature. But with the water horse growing 10 times the size every day, Agnes finds it increasingly difficult to keep his new friend a secret. Set during World War II, this movie looks to explain the Loch Ness Monster, of course.
Of course.
Give me a break, Russell.
You're telling me. The title alone is enough to turn anybody off for this movie. It was absolutely ridiculous. The entire thought of trying to bring back the meaning of the Loch Ness Monster was just appalling to me. But a little improvement that could have been made to make it a little bit better was definitely the CGI.
Oh, yeah, the CGI.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I mean, they were all right, but they definitely could have been improved upon.
Totally agree.
So this movie was really bad. Really bad, Patrick. So bad, in fact, that I wish it would have remained a myth and never even existed.
Kind of like the Loch Ness Monster, really.
Very true, my friend.
Absolutely. Yeah, like I said before, give me a break. This movie, what you said is true. I think potentially this movie could speak to kids. I don't know. What are your thoughts? Do you think kids would be attracted to this movie?
It could. I mean, maybe they would enjoy the title. I really don't know. But my own thoughts, it's... I'm a kid at heart, and if I don't even like it, I don't know.
True. I mean, even kids, I think even kids may not find this movie believable, and that was really my issue. To me, this is the last unicorn of the 21st century, and I wasn't a fan of that movie as well. I thought that the references to World War II were mildly appealing, but I think it really confused the movie. And that piece wouldn't even speak to the children who might enjoy this movie. So in the end, this movie really left me with an empty feeling. So that's why I think we have to declare this the Big Bonanza Bust this episode.
I agree. I completely agree.
Great. Well, that does it for this episode.
That's right. And next episode, we are going to have 2 brand new movies, and that will be Forgetting Sarah Marshall and the new movie coming out, Iron Man.
Ooh, that's going to be exciting. Now, one thing that I did want to mention that we haven't talked about yet on our shows is that if you email us or send us a message that is not public to our Facebook board, and we read that email or message on the air, you will win a free movie pass. So make sure you give us feedback, tell us what you think about our reviews, maybe offer some movies or suggestions for us to review in the future.
Absolutely. I think that's a great way to get these people involved with us.
Absolutely. Well, thank you. So that's all we have this time. Until we see you again, we hope that your next trip to the box office is a bonanza.